This man is amongst many, many others, countless others that risked their life, and that, Mark, is one of the most moving photographs that a lot of people have had to look at.
Yes, this young girl just running for dear life. Of course, her mother was just behind her. And Abdul Haji joins us now in studio. Thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you very much for having me.
Where were you at the time of this attack at the Westgate Mall?
I believe at that time I was having a meeting at Yaya Center at the Dorman's Coffee area when I got a message from my brother that something has happened at Westgate, and he was trapped inside. And it was a shocking message because it pretty much looked like him saying goodbye to me, not knowing exactly what was happening outside or inside the mall. So as I was about to call him, another call came in on my phone, and it was my friend. He's called, he's known as Nyerere, but his actual name is Said, who called me and told me that he was actually meeting with my brother at Westgate. And as he was approaching Westgate, he saw two men attacking people in the driveway to the Westgate. And they were shooting randomly, and they were shooting people in the cars as they were walking towards Westgate. And he immediately knew that there was something wrong, and he was pretty much incoherent in his speech, because I could not make head or tails of what he was saying, but he was pretty much trying to tell me that Nurdin is stuck inside. So I was like, well, can you say that again? And he goes like, Nurdin is inside the mall, and these people have gone in. So you can imagine my shock at that time.
At this time, it wasn't clear what the situation was, so you start making your way from Yaya.
I started making my way to Yaya, and outside, just on my way out of the Yaya parking area, I actually hit somebody's car, and I had to wait for them to come in, and so that I can leave them a note and explain to them that I'm in a rush, and that I have to get somewhere, and I will repair their car. And I was begging them to understand that I was really in a rush. So there were two Chinese nationals. And until now, they haven't called me, so if they're still looking for me, I'm still ready to repair the car.
Abdul, what then did you do when you arrived at the Westgate shopping mall? Paint a picture of what you witnessed.
First thing is, I wasn't able to drive right straight to the Westgate mall, because they already closed the roads, cordoned off the area. And so I parked my car right at the road, and the first person I called was Nyerere, my friend. Asked to ascertain his whereabouts, and he told me he's at the gate of the parking entrance of Westgate. So I made my way to the gate, and the funniest thing is that one of the gentlemen that we were in the mall together during the rescue mission, a gentleman called Harish, is I think you will see him in some of the pictures, is the Asian-looking man with a gun lying down on the floor. He actually made me trying to cross to the other side of Westgate, and he kept asking me, who are you, can you identify yourself? So we almost had a row with him, not to realize that he would be the person helping me inside and protecting me during the whole ordeal. So I made my way to the gate. I met with Nyerere, and already a lot of people had reached there, including some plainclothes policemen, and there was a lot, I must say this, there was a lot of the security group that they're civilians, but they usually protect the Westlands and Parklands area. Right. They're of Asian origin, they're Indians, of Kenyan Indians, and they're I saw how well organized they were. Most of them were armed. They had radio walkie-talkies, and some of them were even had protective gear. Right. And they seem to be trying to figure out on how we can go about in getting in there.
And just to ask you, at this time, whilst you were there, what were you hearing? Were gunshots going on, and was there a sense of panic? Were people running all over the place? Paint us a picture.
There was gunshot that we could hear inside, but I wasn't really looking around that much, because I was busy talking to Nyerere, trying to establish what has happened. And that's when he told me, listen, this doesn't look like a normal robbery. Right. This is a terrorist attack, and he told me, I think there's a possibility that they are after your brother. I must admit that we have been living in fear. and my brother and my father included have been receiving death threats and information that, you know, these people are after them. So my first instinct at that point in time was I thought, if they're after my brother, eventually they'll be after me. And if I might as well meet with them, I'll meet with them now. And I'll rather meet with them fighting than kneeling down and begging for my life. So at this point, I told Nyerere, listen, we have to find a way in. Luckily, the Red Cross guys arrived, Abbas Guled, and when he came, when he assessed the situation, you know, he's quite a tall guy. And he actually looked inside the parking area of the basement, towards the basement, where there were cars parked all the way, and they had just stalled over there. He looked inside and he saw an individual who seemed to have been injured, but still alive. So he urged that we try and find a way to get him out. So the whole thing started as a way to give cover to the Red Cross people as they go into these vehicles to get out the survivors who are there. So at this point, because when we arrived, we were told there are shooters on the roof, we have to be very careful, we had always ducking and all this. So when we made our way to the vehicles where these people the survivors were there, some of us actually realized there's no shooter on the roof. If there was a shooter, they would have shot at us at that time. So we grouped ourselves, and we said we make our way up to the parking area through the ramp, the upstairs parking area. So we made our way up while we were each covering each other. Somebody was covering the back, somebody was looking at the roof, and the other guys are heading up. So we made our way to the parking area upstairs, and this is where I think most of us were really taken aback by the shock of the things we saw down upstairs.
Can you, I know it may be very difficult, and I don't want to put you in a difficult position, but can you, to an extent, describe what you saw and what was running through your mind at this time?
What we saw was a lot of dead people, very young people, children, old ladies. You cannot imagine. You know, I've seen dead people in accidents and during funerals, but I've never in my life seen dead people in this kind of situation. So at this point, I think most of us were really shocked. We were taken aback, and I think we just stopped thinking. What we were thinking was, how can we get this, because we could see some people who were injured but could not get up, and we were thinking, how can we assist these people? So fortunately we were with some of the Red Cross people. They urged their ambulances to come up, so they drove up the ramp, and our duty at that time was to protect the the Red Cross people, so that they can try and get as much people and nobody's shooting at them. Right. So we took cover, we were protecting them, and as we were doing this, we reached close to the Java. I don't know, most of the viewers who know Westgate quite well, they know that you can see Java from the parking area. So we looked inside Java, and we were able to look inside the mall, and we didn't see anybody walking around with a gun. And we thought, okay, if this is a situation here, the situation must be worse inside, and we're now certain that there must be survivors in there, and we should try as much as possible to get to most of the survivors who are still alive. Yes. So at this point, I must say I'm with, I think, 5 individuals. I wish we could have the pictures so I could show you, but there were 3 police individuals who were in plain clothes. One had a brown jacket. One was the guy who was shot and he was holding it at his stomach. And the other guy is with the black jacket, and there's a photo of him leading the military KDF people inside the Nakumat. And there was Harish, the Indian man that we started off with, and myself. So the 5 of us went through Java, and my friend Nyerere, and of course the rest of the people, they followed us behind. We secured the top floor.
How did you manage to secure the top floor?
Basically, we started with Java. We walked around Java throughout Java to make sure there's no shooter, so that once we go in, there's nobody behind us shooting at us. So we secured Java. We walked inside the mall. We looked at our left. We went to, I think it's a Nike store upstairs. We went, we knocked. We saw some people lying on the floor. We started shouting, we're police, open the door, get out. And we started doing this at every store that we went by. We looked down at the second floor, and we could hear shooting at the ground floor. So once we established the shooting is actually at the ground floor, we decided to make our way down to the first floor. And on the first floor, we did the same. We were all looking out for each other. We were taking cover. We were protecting each other as we're going down. We were trying. At this point in time, I think the only thing that was going through our mind is trying to stay alive, and to be as safe as possible. So we made our way down to the first floor. We secured first floor. That's when the rest of the people came. We left the rest of the group on the top floor, continuing, rescuing people. And then we made our way to the first floor. We did the same. We secured. We released a few people. We told them to get out. We showed them the way, how to go up the stairs and all that. And then we made our way down to the ground floor.
And all this while you're describing, it's about a handful of people who are securing different areas as you advance from where you're hearing the gunshots coming from. Yeah. Where was the police backing? Because it sounds a lot like it was mostly those who are in the community policing from the Asian community.
The Asian community, and there was a lot of police who I think were in plaincloth. And we didn't even have time to introduce each other, to know each other by name or what unit of the police they're from. Until today, I'm still looking for the guy who got shot, because he was shot right in front of my eyes. This is when we made our way down to the ground floor. So when we made our way down to the ground floor, it's as if these guys were watching us coming down, and they were just waiting for us to come down before they engage us. So they let us come down. We went to the ground floor. We were at the Art Cafe. For those people who know Westgate, we were now at Art Cafe. So at Art Cafe, we split ourselves. We're still 5 people. 2 went towards the butter shop area, and some of us tried to go round so that we can go, because now we had where the shooting was coming from. We knew it was coming from Nakumatt, and we were trying to see how we can engage them. So the gentleman and Harish, the gentleman who got shot and Harish are the ones who went past Bata, and then that's when they opened fire. And unfortunately, they got one of our colleagues, and we quickly tried to get him out of the situation. And this is how we found our way out through the Art Cafe. So Art Cafe, we got a little bit more reinforcement. Two uniformed, I don't know if they're AP, but they had camouflage uniform. 2 uniformed guys with protective gear and tear gas actually came in at this point. They came into Westgate and they gave us reinforcement. So at this point, we are taking cover. Yes. around the Art Cafe, up towards there's the camera shop. I think it's a Kodak shop or something. We found people in the Kodak shop. We told them to get out, and we're trying to get closer to the Nakumatt entrance. It's when at this point me and the other officer actually noticed somebody hiding behind a table just in front of the Nakumatt entrance. It looked like a table, a promotional table, and they were just hiding underneath. And we thought, just a few minutes we were exchanging fire with the terrorist, and these people were right in the middle of it in a crossfire. So at this point in time, we regrouped and we started to strategize on how to get them out of there. And this is the picture which is going around, where you see a young girl running towards us.
Let's just bring that picture up as you talk about it. A lot of people have seen this picture of you reaching out to this young girl that looks extremely young and very terrified as well. It's just coming up on your screens in just a moment. And I'd like you just to describe what happened. This is a picture of you outside the mall in that checked shirt. Here you are again reaching out with another of your colleagues to a woman and a baby, and I believe the next picture coming up, all right, that's of you aiming your pistol at what may well be some suspected terrorists. This is the photograph. Explain this picture.
So you see the table, the white and black table which is right there. That table was right in front of Nakumatt entrance, and that's where they were hiding. There was one lady who was very visible to us, and we were communicating with her, and we asked her if she can come towards us. It's when she told us, I have 3 kids with me here. We're only 2 adults. There's no way we can run with the kids. So we told them, okay, is one of the kids reasonably older? And she nodded towards, and we told her, could you please ask the kid to run towards us? And I have to admit that this little girl is a very brave girl. Amidst all this chaos around her, she remained calm, she wasn't crying, and she actually managed to run towards men who were holding guns. I mean, seriously, this is a very brave girl.
How did that make you feel?
I was really touched by this, and I thought, you know, if such a girl can be so brave, there's no reason why we cannot sustain this thing. Yeah, it gave us more courage.
And what then happened to this girl? Was she led out, and what about the rest of the family?
She was laid out, and the other 2 ladies were able to run with the two babies that they had with, and I think they were reunited because we still were keeping cover as the people were being taken out. We didn't want any surprises of the shooter coming out and catching us unaware. So at this point we were still taking cover and protecting the survivors.
As you were engaging, of course, the motivation at first was to go and save your brother, but as you met these obstacles along the way and you now were making sense of what was happening, were you communicating with your brother?
No, I wasn't. I was actually communicating with Nyerere,
yes.
and Nyerere was the one communicating with my brother. And they were all doing this all through SMS. Just to recap a little bit, how we got this little girl out of there was that we lodged several tear gas towards the entrance of Nakumatt, and I believe that this tear gas, once thrown in, was what moved the terrorists much inside the Nakumatt shopping. You know, they retreated inside basically. So we were able to rescue more people, as long as they were not shooting at us.
At any one point, were you able to see these terrorists and make out?
I was able to see one terrorist. He looked very much Kenyan. He appeared to be speaking Swahili to us, and he was taunting us basically. He was taunting us to come closer. He kept telling us, "Kuja, kuja," so that we could engage them in a fight, and for them to show us how powerful they are.
Do you know roughly how old he may have been?
He didn't.
And was he heavily armed as well?
He didn't look that old. He was behind some protection, so you could actually just see his head and part of his shirt, and he had a black sort of like a bandana tied on his head. So he was pretty much just taunting us.
Did he come across as fearless?
In that split of a second, I couldn't judge him that much, but from what they were doing, you could actually tell that, you know, these are not normal people. From what we saw, the massacre that they committed over there, it was quite obvious that we were not dealing with normal individuals. These were very, very abnormal people.
How did you react to that?
At this point in time, I must say I was already very angered by what they have done, and the fact that he was making a joke out of this whole thing made me also, you know, much more angry and more determined to either engage them or to shame them, basically. And I mean, in retrospect, I mean that is probably the one reason that why today I'm here speaking to NTV, because there were several options when I was informed that, you know, my pictures on the internet, it became viral and all that, and there was an option that I could keep quiet and let the whole story die out so that I can protect my privacy, or I could come out and speak out against these people. And you know, I got a lot of encouraging messages from young Muslim men who kept telling me that, you know, we think you're our hero, and because of you, we think that, you know, next time when such a thing happens, we will definitely be engaging these people. And you know, Muslim leaders have been telling me that, you know, this seems to be a platform for you to speak out and rally the Muslim community behind their country, their government. And also to tell the world that, you know, these people are not representing Muslims. Right. They're not representing Islam. What I saw done at the Westgate Mall was contrary to the teachings of Islam. I mean, Islam, I know it's almost become a cliche. People are saying that Islam is a religion of peace and all this, but it is true. Islam teaches us that if you save one life, it's like you've saved the whole of humanity. And if you take a life of somebody, it's like you've taken the life of the whole humanity, and you will be judged by that. And to see that these people have caused so much wreckage and damage and killed so many people, and they call themselves jihadists. I mean, Islam also teaches us about the rules of engagement in jihad. And one of the paramount rules of engagement during jihad is that you cannot kill a woman, a child, an elderly, or an innocent person. So where are they getting their doctrine? And why are they trying to drive a wedge between a community like Kenya, which has been living peacefully amongst each other?
Right.
You know, what they did, from some of the information that we were getting, that, you know, they were asking people if they're Muslims, and if you're not Muslims, if you're a Muslim, you can go out, we're here to rescue you. If you're not Muslim, they're shooting them. This is propaganda on their part. It's a psychological warfare they're trying to wage on Kenyans, so that they can divide the non-Muslims against the Muslims. It's quite obvious that they actually killed Muslims there. I did witness a few Muslims who were there, and we've been getting from reports and from the media that, you know, there were Muslims who were shot there. So there is no way they will tell us that, you know, they were there to protect Muslims, yet they still killed the Muslims. These are people who are hell-bent to cause chaos and to cause trouble in Kenya. And they're telling us because Kenya is in Somalia. Kenya is in Somalia because we're trying to bring peace in a neighboring country. They can't tell us that we're killing Muslims in Somalia. When the Al-Shabaab was trying to gain power in Somalia, who were they killing? You know, Somalia is 99% Muslim. They were fighting against somebody in Somalia, and they were Muslims. Right. So what gives them the right to kill Muslims and tell other people that you're there killing Muslims? This is just ridiculous.
And Abdul, many people thought initially that you are an officer for the courage that you had to go in there. Talking about how you were armed, the weapon that you were using, and the advanced weaponry that they used. Are you, first of all, an officer, and what training do you have? And were you getting backing as you were advancing towards the direction of your brother?
There's so many questions. But to start off is that, no, I'm not an officer. And I've not received any formal training. The only training that I've received is the training that I've received from my father, who's taught us from a very young age how to handle weapons. He used to love hunting. And we used to accompany him from time to time when he went bird hunting. He taught us how to you know, the safety of weapons and all that. And from time to time, I come from Garissa County, and from time to time we used to accompany our father when he used to go to herd his cattle in Garissa, and it was mainly in the jungle. And those days, back in the early 90s, when we were very young boys, me and my brother, we were only two brothers in our family. So at that time, me and my brother, we used to accompany my father, and we would camp in tents in the jungle with the cattle there, with the cattle herders, and because in early 90s there was we had problems in the northeastern with the bandits. Yes. So our father used to tell us how to duck, how to, you know, if something happened, what to do, how to take cover, and how to protect ourselves. And I think from the years, I developed a passion with guns and shooting, and I've been going to range to improve my target from time to time. And to tell you the truth, if I had a clear shot with one of the terrorists, I would have definitely taken him out.
Yes,
definitely.
Were you getting backing against these assailants who had, in many ways, more advanced weaponry?
Yeah. We, apart from the five of us, we were always giving each other cover. We were always backing each other. And when we reached the ground floor, as I told you, there were two officers who were well protected with a camouflage, with helmets and tear gas. They also came in, and they gave us more reinforcement. Mm-hmm. And we were able to go when we cleared Nakumat and the entrance, and they pushed back the terrorists. We were able to cross over to the other side of the mall. I was able to go to where my brother was hiding in the toilet. Luckily, he had just gone out just after we threw the first the first two tear gases. When he smelled the tear gas and the gas was getting in their eyes, they actually realized that this tear gas must be from the police, and let's try and find a way out. So they made their way out. And when I went to the toilet where I was told he was, and I was shouting his name and I couldn't find him, the first thing I did was I reached my phone, and there was a message right on the screen of my phone, which was from Nyerere, saying that Nurdin is out, he's safe, you can come out.
How long did it take before you got that message? How long were you in the building for until you got that message? And once you got that message, did you stay on?
Yes. To tell you the truth, time really flew once we were in there, and I think it's all because of the adrenaline and the rush and all that. But I'm not sure exactly what time we got into the mall. It must have been around 1:30 or something like that. And by the time I reached to the toilet where my brother was, it was around 4:30 or 5:30, around that time. So we didn't find them in the toilet where they were, but in the ladies' toilet we found more people. There was a small storage room, we found more people, we got them out. There were people in Barclays Bank, which was right in front of Nakumatt. We found people there, we got them out. And also because of the smoke of the tear gas, it was irritating my eye. I was looking for water, and I decided to go to one of the restaurants. There's a burger, it's called Urban Burger restaurant. It's one of the restaurants right at the entrance. I went in there looking for water, and I saw more dead bodies there. And I saw this one European-looking fellow who was visibly injured, shot, and I asked him if he was able to get up. He told me no. I asked him where he was shot. He told me the shoulder, and the shoulder actually looked like it was out of its place. And I realized that I could not pull him out by myself. I decided to go right outside the Nakumatt entrance and to call for help and to ask the officers who were right at the front to get the ambulances around and get people to clear the people at the bunker.
You and many others stayed inside the Westgate Mall for hours on end trying to rescue people. Aside from your family being in there, what motivated you to stay on and help?
I'm not quite sure what motivated me, but I would say that I was in the moment, and I was angered. I was really, for lack of a better word, pissed off with what had happened at the Westgate. With all these dead bodies that I've seen, you know, I thought, you know, the best thing to do, and because we realized that there must be some survivors who were, some people were actually scared to move. Even after we identified ourselves as police and you need to get out of here, they were still on the floor, they were visibly shaken, they could not move. But these were survivors and we had to get them out of there. And I think this is what motivated us.
Many, of course, would appreciate what you've done, but there are also many who are criticizing the moment. In your estimation, from what you saw, do you think there's more there are more dead bodies in Westgate Mall from what you saw?
You mean the more dead bodies that were not taken out of there? We didn't get a chance to see what was inside Nakumatt, and I think any rational person will think that there were more bodies inside Nakumatt, because this is where they took the final stand, inside Nakumatt.
Now, many people, as you know, have seen your photographs on television and on international media as well. A lot of people are hailing you and many others as heroes, and they're very proud of you. How does that make you feel? Do you think you are a hero?
I don't think I'm a hero.
Why not?
I think I did what any Kenyan in my situation would have done to save lives, to save other humans regardless of their nationality, religion or creed. I did what any other human being would have done in that situation. I found myself in a situation, and we just had to, you know, make the best out of it and to help as much people as we could. But we're definitely not heroes.
That's very noble of you. In many eyes, you are a hero. We do know that you witnessed a horrific situation. We'd just like to know, how are you doing? How are you faring? It can't be easy, but are you doing well?
I think so far so good. I've not seen any side effects or anything of the sort. I don't know how it will be in the future, but I think so far I'm coping quite very well. Thank you.
Right.
Well, Abdul Haji, you are a hero to us, and I'm very sure to the viewer. Thank you very much for joining us and for your heroic act of saving many from the Westgate Mall.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me.